Yesterday, what we were discussing? Syllabus of polity. Then, what we studied? Okay. Then, then, yesterday we studied what is constitution. Next, we have studied what? The basics, like what is parliament and which are the houses in a parliament. Okay, you can just go through the recorded classes of yesterday. Okay, it is already been uploaded. You can just go through that. Okay. See here, in parliament, which are the two houses we are having? Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Which is temporary house? Lok Sabha. Which is permanent house? Rajya Sabha. Then, when it comes to state legislature, which are the two houses in the state government? Yes, state legislative assembly, state legislative council. Okay. How many states are having state legislative assembly? All 28 states are having state legislative assembly. How many states are having state legislative council? 6 states. Which are those? Yes. And along with that, see here, when we studied regarding the union territories, there were 8 union territories. Okay. Which are those 8 union territories? Jammu and Kashmir, then Ladakh, then National Capital Territory of Delhi, then Chandigarh, then yes, Daman and Diu, Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Then 6th one, Puducherry, Andaman and Nicobar. Next one, last, Lakshadweep. Okay. Now, in these 8 union territories, which of the union territories having state legislative assembly? MLAs. Delhi, correct? Okay. Then Puducherry. In all the 28 states are having the MLAs, that is state legislative assembly. But when it comes to union territories, in this 3, that is 3 union territories are having the state legislative assembly, that is MLAs are there in this union territories. Understood? One is Puducherry, Delhi, National Capital Territory of Delhi. Next, Jammu and Kashmir. Just check Ladakh also. Cross check that. Is Ladakh is having state legislative assembly? Yes. It's not there. Okay. In Jammu and Kashmir, it is there. Okay. Only in these union territories we are having the MLAs. Okay. And in how many of the union territories MLCs are also there? Now we studied that 3 union territories are having the MLAs. What about MLCs? Do MLCs are there in this union territories? MLC? No. Okay. None of the union territories having the state legislative council. Okay. None of the union territories are having the state legislative council. Understood? Okay. Here, Andaman and Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, Chandigarh, they don't even have any single house. Understood? They don't even have any single house. Whatever the laws, that is directly made by the parliament itself. Understood? Since there is no kind of the government, local government, but there are lieutenant governors or the administrators to take care of these union territories. How we are having the governor of state, okay, Rajyapalru idaralva. The same way the governors are there, the lieutenant governors or administrators are there in order to take care of these union territories. Understood? Okay. But there is no CM here except this, okay, National Capital Territory of Delhi, Puducherry and also Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, here there is no CM, no MLAs, no MLC. Here also no MLA, no MLC, no CM. Here also the same. Here also the same. But they will be ruled or governed by the lieutenant governor or administrators. They are equal to our state governors. Understood? They are responsible for taking care of these union territories. Understood? See, in states, we are having two people. One is nominated and one is a real executive. That is, in one state, we are having one governor, one CM. Who is the governor of Karnataka? Tawarchand Gehlot. Okay. Who is the CM? Siddaramaiah. Okay. Governor of the state is the nominal executive, but real powers is vested with the CM only. Understood? But here, lieutenant governors are there. Understood? Is there any doubt? No doubts. There are no state legislative councils here, no MLAs, sorry, no MLCs in these 8 union territories. But there is a state legislative assembly, that is MLAs. The member of legislative assembly are, those members are there only in these 3 union territories. MLAs. How we are having the MLAs in our Karnataka. The same way the MLAs are there in these 3 union territories also. Understood? Just write down. See, in Ladakh, they are not having, but in some of the other, like Siha, in National Capital Territory of Delhi, okay, they are having the Rajya Sabha members. In no, they are not having. Okay, that all totally that comes under this state itself. Only directly they will be just governed by the either the lieutenant governor or administrator or chief commissioner. Okay, that designation is there, either lieutenant governor or administrator or chief commissioner. Okay, and responsible for the president. They are just an agent. See, there will be a president here. There will be a president. Okay, and there will be lieutenant governors or administrator or chief commissioner. These people are the agents for the president. On behalf of the president, they will rule the union territories. They will govern the union territories. Understood? Okay. How we are having the CM, but they are not having the CM here. But they might be having either a lieutenant governor or administrator or chief commissioner. Understood? Is there any doubt? Just write down. Out of 8 union territories, Jammu and Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, comma, national capital, national capital, territory of Delhi, national capital. Should I repeat? National capital territory of Delhi, and Puducherry, and Puducherry, and Puducherry are having state legislative assembly, state legislative assembly, state legislative assembly. That is MLAs are present. MLAs are present. And also CM. And also CM. And lieutenant governors. And lieutenant governors. And lieutenant LIEU. LIEU. TENANT. Yes, correct. Lieutenant governors are present. Full stop. Full stop. Next point. Next point. But none of the union territories are having state legislative council. State legislative council. State legislative council. That is, no MLCs are present. Full stop. Okay. Today, let us discuss the sources of constitution. See, in our constitution, all the whatever the parts that is there, yesterday we have studied regarding the parts. There are 25 parts. Okay, that all the sources that has been borrowed from some other nation. Okay, that has not been written only by the constitutional makers. It has been borrowed. Some of the sources have been borrowed from the US constitution. Some of the sources are borrowed from British, UK. Some of them have been borrowed from Irish, Ireland. Some of them from Canada. Some of them from Australia and Germany. Okay, and USSR. Understood? Let us discuss each one. First one is Government of India Act 1935. See, before getting the independence, we were ruled by the Britishers. Britishers used to rule us. And there were two types of rule. One is company rule, next one is crown rule. Okay. Based on that, there were charters, there were laws. These Britishers made the laws for the Indians to follow that laws. Understood? They used to frame the laws in that Charter Act, and the Indians used to follow all the rigid and stringent laws that is made by the Britishers. Understood? Okay. Before 1947, we had one of the act called as Government of India Act 1935. That is made by the Britishers itself. Okay. And let us see that. One is a federal scheme. That federal scheme, that theory was been borrowed from the this act itself. Federal scheme. Federal means two. That is dual. One is central government and state government. That kind of government, two governments, was being borrowed from this act itself in our constitution. Understood? We are having central government and state government. That is borrowed. That kind of government is borrowed from this act made by the Britishers. Okay. Next, office of governor. Every state is having the governor of state. That governor office is borrowed from this act itself. Functioning of governor, who will appoint the governor, and for whom he should resign, that all that is given from this act itself. Understood? Next is judiciary. Judiciary means nyayanga. Okay. This judiciary is borrowed from this act. See, we are having three pillars of democracy. Which are the three pillars of democracy? One is legislative, next executive, the third one is judiciary. Shasakanga, Karyanga, Nyayanga. Okay, these are the three pillars of democracy. The fourth is media, that is press. What is the function of legislative or legislator? Lawmaking. Okay, the lawmaking, the parliament. Okay, the state government. Central government, state government, what they will do? They will create the laws for the public. Understood? Creating the laws, that is in the hands of legislatures only. Either it may be central government, state government also. Understood? Okay. Central government, state governments are called as legislatures. Whatever the politicians you see, those people are the legislatures. Okay, the MLAs, the MPs, CM, PM, understood? Ministers. That all people are called as legislatures here, not the ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತಾಸ್. MLA ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ. Okay, who are elected people, okay, who are representatives, ಜನಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಗಳು, those people are called as only the legislatures. Understood? Next comes the executive. Whatever the laws that is made by these legislatures, these executives are going to implement them. ಕಾರ್ಯರೂಪಕ್ಕೆ ತರಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. I have created one law. Think that this all the parliamentarians, they have created the law. In order to implement those laws, these laws will be implemented by the executives called the bureaucrats, civil servants, the IAS officers, IPS officers, IFS officers. Understood? If you become the officer, then you will be in this part. Understood? Okay. The laws are already created by the parliamentarians or the state government. That laws should be implemented for the people. That is what the function of the executive. Implementing the laws. Implementing the laws. It is the duty of the civil servants, bureaucrats to implement the laws in future. Understood? Next comes the judiciary. Here, the judiciary means the Supreme Court. Okay, it will cross-check the laws that is created by the legislatures. It will cross-check the laws that is created by the legislatures, whether that law is constitutional or unconstitutional. Understood? Is it following the constitutional rules or not? That it will cross-check. Understood? If it is unconstitutional, if that law is unconstitutional, then that law will be declared as null or void, means wrong. that will not going to get implemented for the public. If the law, whatever the legislatures have made, if it is constitutional only, if it is following the constitution, it is bounded the constitution, then it can be implemented. If it is against the constitution, if that law is against the constitution, then that law is declared as null or void. That is wrong. ರದ್ದು ಪಡಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಕಾನೂನನ್ನ ರದ್ದು ಪಡಿಸೋರು ಯಾರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಂಗದವರು. Understood? Is there any? What is the role of press now? Media. What is the function of media? Interview. Yeah, it is like a bridge between these and also the public. They will showcase what it is going on in a legislature, in a parliament, what is going on in a parliament. That will be published by whom? Press. In a state legislature, in Vidhan Sabha, what it is going on in Vidhan Sabha, that will be shown or published by the press. Okay. If the executives are implementing the laws or not, IAS officers are working properly or not, APS officers are working properly or not, that will be showcased. Judiciary, whatever the judgment given by the Supreme Court, High Court, that will be published. Understood? Is there any doubts here? No doubts. This is the basics. Okay. See, that one, judiciary, whatever we studied here, this judiciary part we have borrowed from this act only. Next comes the Public Service Commission, your UPSC, SPSC, that all have been borrowed from this act. This is the previous year question. In one of the question paper they have asked. Public Service Commission, UPSC, SPSC, that concept have been borrowed from this act only. We wanted IAS officer, IPS officers, these kinds of officers or not? Do we need the officers or we don't want any kind of officers? Do we need civil servants for India or not? Why you are going to study this UPSC? What is the role? Do India need civil servants or not, according to you? Don't want? Don't need? Why you need? Civil servants are the backbone of administration. You are the backbone of governance, the administration part. Whatever these people will do the laws, create the laws, who will going to implement that? Who will going to give that laws for the people, that schemes for the people? Okay, creating the laws, creating the schemes, creating the policy is one way, and implementing those, that is the important point here. Understood? That is why we need civil servants. Whatever the 5 guarantee acts are there in Karnataka, that was being just published during the campaign itself, before elections. And once they have won the election, they should implement that schemes, 5 guarantee acts. Who have implemented? The so-called IAS officers of that department. Understood? Announcing for the public is by the politicians. But in order to implement that, giving all the schemes for the whoever are the eligible person, that is the role of civil servants. Only you will just see only Lakshmi Hebbalkar here as being the woman Ministry of Women Empowerment. Okay, I mean woman ಯಾವ್ದು ಮಹಿಳಾ ಮತ್ತು ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಇಲಾಖೆದು ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರೊಬ್ಬರೇ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ವಿಲ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಹರ್. ನನಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗ 2,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವಾಗ 2,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ she is not the one who will put that money, who will credit that money. There is a department in that. The head of the department will be the IAS officer. KS ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಅವ್ರು ಅದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಮಂಜೂರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ಓಕೆ, ಈ ತರ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಕೆಲಸ. Only announcing the schemes only by the politicians, not implement that, it is the duty of the civil servants. Understood? Or whoever are eligible for getting that 2000 rupees, that all will be cross-checked, scrutinized, and then they will credit that money for the woman. Understood? That all will be made by the civil servants only. Whatever you see in the movies, that is not the case here. Okay, those like the heroism, the heroine kind of IAS, IPS officers, that is not the role of the actual civil servants. Only the implementing the policies, schemes, rules, regulations, and laws. That's it. Next, emergency provisions. As we were discussing yesterday regarding emergency. Emergency, see here. This emergency and administration details that all have been borrowed from this act itself. Okay. The important one here is, one is judiciary, one is public service commission and office of governor. These are important in this act. Out of this 5 or 6, only 3 are important from this act. Understood? Okay. Next comes British Constitution. British Constitution, see here. From UK, from British Constitution, we have borrowed these sources. That is a parliamentary government. There are 2 types of government in the world. One is presidential form of government, another one is parliamentary form of government. USA is having presidential form of government. In case of India, we are having parliamentary form of government. Ultimately, who is having the lot of power to create the law? Only the parliament, not even the president in India. Understood? The constitutional makers have not given the sole power to create the laws for the president here in India. Who is having that authority? The parliament is the supreme in order to create the laws in our country. Understood? Who will be there in a parliament? Parliament means Lok Sabha members, Rajya Sabha members, along with the president. Understood? Parliament means all the MPs of Lok Sabha, all the MPs of Rajya Sabha, plus president. President is not having sole authority to create the laws in India. Why? Because that might be misused by the single person called as Trump. Whatever you are seeing in USA. Understood? Okay, if we give that sole authority for the single person, a president, he might misuse that. Understood? Not happen that kind of disaster, the constitutional makers have thought that we should not give that kind of power for the president, but we can give a power for the parliament, including the president. Understood? ಓಕೆ, ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇವಾಗ ಒಬ್ರು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕೆಟ್ಟ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್, ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಅನ್ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ಲಾನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಮೈಟ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ದ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? 543 ಇನ್ ಲೋಕಸಭಾ, 245 ಇನ್ ರಾಜ್ಯಸಭಾ, ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಡಿಬೇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮೂಲಕ ಲಾ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್. Understood? Okay. Next, now have you understood the parliamentary government? Okay. Next comes the rule of law. Nobody is above the law in India. Rich person is not also above the law. President is also not above the law. Supreme Court is also not above the law. Understood? There is a law that is meant for everybody. Whether you are rich or poor, the law is same for everybody according to Constitution. Understood? But you might say that why these rich people are having the so-called VIP treatment in prisons also. Okay, these VIPs like we'll be getting the bail immediately, and also they will be just dragging the cases. We are not even getting the proper judgment or the justice. You may think that also, but according to the constitution, everybody are equal. If I do the murder and if you do the murder, the same punishment. Understood? That is what the rule of law says. Next one. Rule of law means nobody is above the law. That's it. Law means any kind of laws. Whatever the articles we are having in the constitution. Okay. Article 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fundamental rights, fundamental duty, everything. Whatever it is mentioned in the constitution, in that articles, that is called as law. No specific rule of law is there. Actually, this rule of law concept is there in Article 14. Equal protection of law, equality before law. Okay, means nobody is above the law. If you are very rich, the punishment will not be a lesser form. If you are poor, they will not give a heinous punishment for you. Understood? For that specific case, for that specific crime activity, whatever they have done, the punishment, whatever it is written, that is going to get implemented and it will be given as a punishment. Next, legislative procedures. Legislative procedures means whatever the procedures are there in a parliament, that is borrowed from this one. This is not much important. Legislative procedures, it is very vast to explain. Okay, legislative procedures means suddenly the MPs or MLAs can't create the laws at a one day. There is a process for that. Firstly, either the private people, I mean the MP or else the minister should propose that proposal. Think that if there is one act wanted for women empowerment, okay, I can, being a MP or else a minister, I can propose in front of either Lok Sabha or Raj Sabha, wherever I have become an MP, either in Lok Sabha or Raj Sabha. Then it will get scrutinized and debates and discussion will go on, and then it should get passed. Again in another house it should get passed. Again finally the president should give the assent. Okay, that is what all the process is called as legislative procedure. Next, single citizenship. In India, we are having a single citizenship. Means only Indian citizenship we can have. If I apply for US citizenship, see, think that I am doing the masters there and I got the job, and after 6 to 7 years I have worked there, and then I have applied for the green card over there. Once I get the US citizenship, automatically my Indian citizenship will get terminated. I am not an Indian citizen anymore. Understood? Okay, that is what called as single citizenship. I can't have the US citizenship and Indian citizenship as it is we are having now. Some people are having in USA, they are having two citizenship, dual citizenship. They are having the country citizenship and also the state citizenship. Understood? In USA, they are having two citizenship. One is the whole country citizenship and the state citizenship, whatever the states are having. How many states are there in USA? As we are having 28 states in India, they are having 50 states. Have you seen in that flag there are 50 stars? Have you seen the USA flag or not? In that they are having 50 stars. Okay, that's what represents 50 states. If you didn't see that, let me show. See that all you should just glance that why USA have kept that kind of flag. See, every time we will compare our constitution with USA, Russia, UK. These are very important. Okay. See here. Understood? 50 stars, 50 states. Next, cabinet system. Let me explain this cabinet system. We are having the parliament. Okay. Parliament. We are having both the houses, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, MPs, member of parliament, MPs of Lok Sabha, MPs of Rajya Sabha we are having. Okay. Out of these MPs, these people, some of the people will become what? Some of the MPs will become ministers. Understood? Higher designation. Okay. First one, the first stage, MP is the first designation. If they have a lot of experience, 3 or 4 times, if they have won the election, and if they are well-versed person, and they will give the minister post. Okay. These people are called as Council of Minister. Council means group of ministers. Maximum, it should be 81. Council of Ministers, including PM. Okay. Out of these ministers, another one is cabinet. Cabinet. These cabinet ministers might be only 10 to 15. These are again the higher dignitaries. Okay. At the ground level, the MPs, from them, the ministers, again the cabinet ministers. Have you seen with the PM, in a meeting, there will be only 5 to 6 ministers only. Those people are called as cabinet ministers. It is like a nucleus of the parliament. Nucleus of the parliament. Have you studied the cell in PUC? Okay, leave it. Okay. See here, out of parliament, see how many Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha people are there. Here 543 are there. Here 245 are there. If we count them, the total will be how much? 800 plus. Out of 800, 81 will be Council of Ministers. Okay, less than 81 will be Council of Ministers. In that 81, there will be only 10 to 15. Those people will be cabinet ministers. Understood? Like Minister of Defense, Defense Minister, Minister of External Affairs, Finance Minister, okay, Home Minister. There are only 10 to 15 ministers. They are so important. Every time these people are present for the meeting. Understood? That is called as cabinet system. Next, prerogative writs. Firstly, we should know fundamental rights. Then you will understand the writs. Okay. Writs. These are the constitutional remedies if there is any violation of your fundamental rights. Whatever the rights the constitution have been given for the citizens and also non-citizens, if they are inviolative for you, then the writs will help you either to approach Supreme Court or High Court. Okay. That fundamental rights I am going to tell you. Firstly, just you can go through this. Okay. Next, parliamentary privileges and bicameralism. Parliamentary privileges, I can just explain you detailedly in Parliament chapter. What is parliamentary privilege? Privileges for the MPs and MLAs. That when they are also having the freedom of speech and expression in the parliament. And also, if they just defame or if they just scold words badly in either in Vidhan Sabha or in parliament, okay, already the live session will be going on in that time. If you think it's a Lok Sabha, the speaker can initiate for the press media to cut that clippings, whatever this MP have been told. Understood? That kind of privileges they will be having. Okay. doesn't mean that they can beat or they can scold words in badly. Okay, but there is a limitations also for this freedom of speech and expression. ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹರ್ಕೊಂಡು 15 years ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಯು ವುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹರ್ಕೊಂಡು MLA ಅದನ್ನ ಇದನ್ನ ಇದ್ರು. ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬಿನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ರು ಒಬ್ರಿಗೊಬ್ರು ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದಿ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಅದರದೇ ಆದಂತ ಒಂದು ಇದು ಇರ್ತದೆ ಡಿಸಿಗ್ನೇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟರಿ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. And also bicameralism, as I told you, 2 houses, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, or else in state government it might be state legislative assembly or state legislative council. That one. Next, let us study the US Constitution. From USA we have borrowed these subjects, that is fundamental rights. Whatever the fundamental rights we are having, that is borrowed from which one? US Constitution. Independence of judiciary. Judiciary is independent. Nobody can pressurize the judiciary. Even the legislatures, even the president, even the prime minister can't put pressure for the judiciary. Understood? It is an independent body. It can take the decision. Next, judicial review. Judicial review. What is meant by judicial review? Do you see the cricket? Have you seen the review? Third umpire? Okay, that kind of review will be given by the judiciary. If the law is constitutional, then that law can be implemented. If the law is unconstitutional, that law can be declared as null or void. That review will be given by whom? Judicial. Understood? Regarding the laws, it will give the review, whether that law is correct or wrong. If the law is correct, then it can be implemented. If the law is wrong, it can be null or void, declared as null or void. Understood? That kind of review only can be given by the judiciary. Next, impeachment of president. Removing the president. That process have been borrowed from USA. Here, the impeachment word is only used for the president in India. For others, the word we use is removal. Understood? ಪದಚ್ಯುತಿಗೊಳಿಸೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. Understood? Next, removal of Supreme Court, High Court judges and post of Vice President. That all we have borrowed from US Constitution. Removal of Supreme Court, High Court judges. That process have been borrowed from USA. And post of Vice President also we have borrowed from US Constitution. Understood? Next one, Irish. From Ireland we have borrowed this one. That is DPSP. Yesterday, in which part of the Constitution we have studied this one? Part 4. That is DPSP. These are the schemes, the policies. The schemes can be created only with the help of DPSP. Whatever the 5 guarantee acts are there, whatever the other kind of schemes are there, for them the basic foundation is this one, DPSP. Understood? Okay. Next, nomination of members of Rajya Sabha. How many members are nominated in Rajya Sabha? Yesterday we have studied 12 members are nominated from the President of India. Okay, in the field of SALS, science, arts, literature, social service. That kind of nomination of 12 members that have been borrowed from Irish Constitution. Understood? Next one, method of election of president. Elections for the president that have been borrowed from Irish. For president also there will be election. You and me will not vote for the president. Who will vote for the president? MLAs, MPs of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Okay, those people will vote for the president, not the normal public. Next comes the Canadian Constitution. Federation with strong center. What is meant by that? Federation with strong center. What is meant by federation with strong center? Federation means federal, dual, that is central government, state government. In that, which one is strong? Center is strong, means central government is strong. Even though we are having two types of governments in India, that is central government, state government, who is supreme here? Central government. Central government is strong. That is what we have borrowed from Canadian Constitution. Understood? Yesterday we have discussed regarding the federal list, union list, state list, concurrent list. There is the fourth one that is not mentioned. Whatever the residuary list is there. Okay, residuary list andre what is meant by residuary? No, residuary means it is not mentioned in either union list, state list or concurrent list. Understood? Union list nallu mention illa, state list allu mention illa, concurrent list allu mention illa. ಅಂತ ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿದೆ. ಆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಗಳಿಗೆ ಲಾ ಮಾಡೋರು ಯಾರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೆಂಟರ್, ರೆಸಿಡ್ಯುವರಿ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ಉಳಿದಿರುವಂತಹ, ಓಕೆ, ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಈ 3 ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿಗೆ that laws can be created by the center. Understood? Next, appointment of state governors by the center. Whatever the state governors we are having, who will appoint them? President will appoint. Okay, president will appoint the governor for each state. That we have borrowed from Canadian Constitution. Next comes the advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. What is meant by this? Advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Yes. Article 143, I think. Okay. Article 143, that will advise the president. But that is not binding on the president. Think that if the president wanted any kind of information regarding one law, she can get the advice from the Supreme Court. But once the Supreme Court gives the advice, it is left to the president to take up that advice or to leave that advice. ನಿಮ್ ತರ ನೀವು ಪಾಪ ಮಮ್ಮಿಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತೀರ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್, ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಬಿಡೋದು ಫೈನಲಿ ನಿಮ್ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. That is what we have borrowed from Canadian Constitution. What? It is binding. Especially for a man, I don't know. It is binding. Next one is Australian Constitution. Which is this? The central government, state government, both will create the laws. We have studied yesterday that concurrent list is borrowed from Australia. Freedom of trade, commerce and intercourse. This one is a part in Constitution. Yesterday we have studied regarding this. Adunu kuda we have borrowed from Australian Constitution. Next one is joint sitting of 2 houses of parliament. Joint sitting. Joint sitting means 2 houses will be sitting together and they will just vote. See, when this joint sitting will be happening is if, see, there is Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Okay. Think there is one proposal. One proposal, that women's reservation. Let us take the concept of women's reservation. This women reservation, that proposal, that report will be either presented in Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha. We are having two houses. The MP or minister will propose this either in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Understood? Once this has been passed in Lok Sabha, it will be sent to the Rajya Sabha. In both the houses, it should get passed through the voting. Once it is both passed through the voting, then it will be sent for whom? President. If the president agrees for the law, the bill, okay, this is a bill, okay, that proposal, if it gets passed, at least in one house, it is called as bill itself. Firstly, adna bill anta kariyodilla. We will call it as a proposal only. Once at least if it is get passed in one house, we will call it as a bill. The bill is passed in Lok Sabha. On October 10th, we will just send for the Rajya Sabha and they will just, do the voting on that day. Okay, itara. Okay. At least in one house, if it is gets passed, okay, in next house, it will just send. Then if it gets passed, then it will be sent for the president. This bill is sent for the president. If president gives the assent, means if she agrees, if the Draupadi Murmu agrees for that bill, or if she gives assent, the signature for that bill, then it will become an act. Kanun ivaga agtade. Now it is ready for implementation. Understood? If in both the houses, if it gets passed, it can't be get implemented without the president's assent. President assent is important. It is must. Okay. And see here, joint sitting yavag agtade andre, if either of the house rejects the bill. In one house, it has been passed. In another house, it pass agide, il pass agilla. If any of the house, if they reject the bill, then if they don't get the majority there, then president will call up for the joint sitting. Badni anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಗಂಡ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಜಗಳದ ತರ ಇದು. ಒಂದು ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ರೆಡಿ ಟು ಅಪಾಲಜಿ, ಒಬ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಬ್ಬರನ್ನು ಇತ್ಯರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹಿರಿಯರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ಇಬ್ರು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿಸಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸೋದು ಬಿಲ್. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮುಗೀತು ಕತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, only for few bills this kind of joint sitting is there. Ordinary bill, financial bill. Okay, ordinary bill, financial. There are 4 types of bills. One the ordinary bill, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು money bill, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು financial bill, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು constitutional amendment bill. Constitution ನ amend ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ನೋಡಿ, that bill. ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಆರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಜಗಳಗಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಹೆಂಗ್ ಗಂಡ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಆರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಜಗಳಗಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕೂಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಹಿರಿಯರು, ಆತರ. ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಕೂಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಮನಿ ಬಿಲ್, ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಬಿಲ್, ಬೋತ್ ಆರ್ different bills. Let me explain in detail in the parliament chapter. Have you understood at least the joint sitting? Okay. One house have been accepted, they have passed the bill. In another house, it didn't get passed. That initiation of joint sitting will be taken by the president. The president will summon andre ಕರೆಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದು. Okay, the president will summon the houses for the joint sitting. Understood? ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೊಸ words ಗಳು. Okay, you will get used to it in future. Next, Weimar Constitution of Germany. Germany. Okay, we have brought the Germany. From Germany, we have brought this one. Suspension of fundamental rights during emergency. In normal days, every citizen of India and non-citizen of India, they are having the fundamental rights. But once they declare the emergency, the national emergency, okay, during that time, your fundamental rights, except 2 fundamental rights, all will be suspended. Understood? That one we have borrowed from Germany. Germany, Hitler ನೆನಪಾಗ್ತಾರ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಡ್ದು ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಯೋ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಬದುಕೋಕೆ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏಡ್, think in that form and just choose this option. Prelims, match following. This is match the following kind of topic you are studying here. They will give you the two tables here. One is the constitution, one is the matters. From USA, we have borrowed which one? Okay, match the following ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Frequently asked question ಇದು, this topic. At least one. Next is USSR, that is Russia. Presently we are having Russia country, but during olden days we had Soviet Union, that is USSR. From that USSR, it is Russia, we have borrowed duties, fundamental duties. Fundamental rights have been borrowed from which constitution? US. Duties from Russia, Soviet Union. And also ideal of justice, social, adu beda. Okay, that I will be just telling you in this preamble chapter. Okay, have you understood this one? Okay, the very important is fundamental rights from US and impeachment of president from US, very important. Next, Irish DPSP, very important. Next, Canadian ನಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ 2 ನೇ ಇದೆ. Federal with the strong center. Federal means 2 here. Okay, lifting of residuary powers in the center, ಇದನ್ನ ಬಿಡಿ. Appointment of state governors by the center, advisory jurisdictions of the, sorry, okay, this one. Australian constitution nodi, all are related to the 2. Concurrent list, 2 government. Yes, then freedom of trade, commerce and intercourse, that is with the center, but joint sitting, again 2. Suspension of your fundamental rights from Germany. Understood? 10 to 12 sources are important for your exam. There are 25 to 30 sources. Out of that, at least half of them you should remember. Eventually, in every chapter, you will be going to study this one only in detail. Understood? ಇದನ್ನೇ ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. Then you will understand. Then you can memorize that. Understood? Okay. Next. What is this? Parliament. Is the Jawaharlal Nehru. This is the Constituent Assembly. Now we are having Parliament. The old name of Parliament was Constituent Assembly. Understood? Before commencement of the Constitution, framing of Constitution was taken place in Constituent Assembly. Old Parliament nelle toste nodi image. This is the place. Understood? Constitution was being framed in Constituent Assembly. Now we are having Parliament as a name, but previously it was Constituent Assembly. Understood? These were the members of the Constituent Assembly. They are framing the Constitution. The debate, the discussion was going on regarding every topic, whatever they have written in the Constitution, regarding every article. These were the members of Constituent Assembly. There were women members also. Can you see that? Who is she? Sarojini Naidu. Okay. And there were the other members as well. Rajendra Prasad was there. Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay. Lal Bahadur Shastri. ಯಾರು ಇವರು? ಸರ್ದಾರ್ ವಲ್ಲಭಾಯಿ ಪಟೇಲ್. Okay. See, you will get an idea how it was. Jawaharlal Nehru and other members taking a pledge in the midnight session of the Constituent Assembly of India held on 14th and 15th August 1947. Independence. How we got independence? Not through the war. We have got the independence through the agreement. Understood? ಹೊಡೆದಾಟ ಬಡದಾಟ ಆಗಿ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ ಜೊತೆ ಆ ತರ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. Okay? It is through the agreement we have got the independence in the midnight. Pakistan got the independence on 14th. We got independence on 15th. It's a midnight. Okay? We are having certain timings of difference. Okay? Because Pakistan mate latitude longitude ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆನೋ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Based on that, okay, ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ Pakistan timing was different. Our Indian standard timing was different. That is why midnight ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಅದು 15th ಆಯ್ತು after 12 hours. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ it was before 12 hours ಆಗಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು 14th ಅಂತ ಸೆಲೆಬ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Understood? Is there any doubt? And there was one of the drafting committee. Okay, these were the members of the drafting committee. Who is he? B.R. Ambedkar. Okay, and let me explain all these people in detail. Okay, in the next chapter. Just see them. ನೋಡಿ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಸಿ? See the books. During that time only they used to study the bulkier books. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು bulky book ಓದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. Understood? See how they were clever. This is the preamble of Constitution. Introduction of Constitution. How we are having the introduction in every book, every author books. The same we are having introduction, and it is the identity card of the Constitution. Understood? Let me explain that also in detail. Just see that how they have picturized and how they have written. Understood? The decoration. Every pages are like this only of the Constitution. Let me show all those pages. You see here. DPSP, that chapter. In every chapter, they will draw the image, they will decorate the four sides, and they will write with the calligraphic writing. Understood? Every page is like that. It is decorated. See here. For fundamental rights, Rama, Lakshmana, Sita. Yes, this is original Constitution photos. Lord Nataraja. Image ಮಾಡೋದು cursive writing, decoration. Okay. Yes, that they have drawn in both the English and Hindi book. ಅದು ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, who is the author, I mean who has written that, who has decorated, I will just tell that also. Okay. See here. York design ಮಾಡೋದು. Union and its territory chapter. He is the one who has written the Constitution. Okay. Do you know his name? Yes, Prem Behari Narayan Raizada. Prem Behari Narayan Raizada anta heli. Okay, he has written in a calligraphic form. See how much too huge the pages are. Understood? The constitution book is this much. This is the cover page of the constitution. They are signing the constitution book here. See how bulkier our Indian constitution book is. Understanding? This is the symbol of Constituent Assembly. Constituent Assembly had the symbol. In other state government exam, they will ask you the symbol of Constituent Assembly. They will give you an option: lion, tiger, elephant, and wolf. What you will just put? Lion or tiger. Lion or tiger, because tiger is the national animal, or it might be a lion also. Either in one you will choose, but it was an elephant. See the. Can you see this gray color map? I don't know whether you can see or not. Let me mark that. See, all this have been asked previously. See, this is the map of, sorry, this is the map of Akhand Bharat. Akhand Bharat. Pakistan, Bangladesh, India. Yes, all are included. This was the symbol of Constituent Assembly. Not only just India, it was Akhanda Bharat. Understood? See, it is Mahavir's, the state in part A of the first schedule. As yesterday I was telling you, deleted part of constitution was part B. This is part A. Understood? Have you got that glance like how the constitution book will be? Okay. Now let us study the first chapter. Just put the heading, making of constitution. Making of constitution. Making of constitution. How the constitution have been made, that we will be studying. Okay. In order to write one book, firstly you should know the background of that. Okay. See, the Britishers were ruling the India since from 1601 itself. Since from 1601 to 1947, they ruled us. There were a lot of wars that was taken place between Britishers and Indians also through the freedom fighters. And there was a time where we needed our own constitution for us. We needed a independence for the Indians. We wanted a complete independence. But that was the time where in 19 after 1934, okay, after 1930s, it was a time where all the freedom fighters were thought. There was lot of non-corporation movement, satyagraha, everything, Dandi March, everything was going on. But still, the Britishers were not giving the independence for Indians. But lot of freedom fighters struggled to give the independence for the Indians during that time, with the help of violence and also with the help of non-violence. That kind of ideologies, and there were moderates, extremists also, like Bhagat Singh, okay, and moderates also were there. Okay, with help of everything, we have just given the 100%, but still we didn't get the independence till 1947. All that process since from 1934 we'll be studying here in this chapter. Okay, from 1934, okay, in 1934, the idea of having the Constituent Assembly, what we are having the Parliament now, that idea of having the Constituent Assembly was given by M.N. Roy. He was the leader of the Communist Party during that time. There was one party called as Communist Party. For that, the leader was M.N. Roy. He given the idea that we Indians also should have Constituent Assembly and we can frame the constitution for us. Understood? That idea was given by M.N. Roy in 1934. He is M.N. Roy. And just concentrate here. You can write afterwards. Okay. In the next year, in 1935, again the Indian National Congress, what we are having the Congress now, okay, when the Congress was been established, 1885, during British era only Congress was been founded, okay. That National Congress, Indian National Congress, they officially demanded that what we want, Constituent Assembly for framing the Constitution. Where they have framed the Constitution? In Constituent Assembly. Framing means creating the Constitution, writing the Constitution. Understood? That laws, whatever in order to add in the Constitution, that was being framed in the Constituent Assembly. Understood? Okay. And after 3 years, Jawaharlal Nehru, okay, again just told that we wanted our constitution, but that should not be interfered with the outsiders. Outsiders means your Britishers. We will frame the constitution ourselves, but we don't want anyone to interfere in our Constituent Assembly as well as in our constitution. Without the outsider interference means here the Britishers. You don't just tell us how to frame the constitution for Indians. We are there. We will just frame our own constitution. That was told by the Jawaharlal Nehru during that time in the speech. Understood? For Indians, it is the Indians who should frame the constitution, not the Britishers. Understood? That is what Jawaharlal Nehru said during that time. Is there any doubt here? No doubts. Okay. Firstly, who has given the idea of having the Constituent Assembly? This kind of assembly, who has given the idea? M.N. Roy. Okay. Next, after the next year, the INC was officially demanded that we also wanted Constituent Assembly. Okay. Indian National Congress was the biggest political party during that time. Understood? And these people are the one who used to put pressure on the Britishers that we wanted complete independence. Understood? Okay. And next one, the Jawaharlal Nehru said that Constitution of a free India means complete independence. You wanted complete independence with the free India. Okay. And also without outsider interference. That is what he said. Is there any doubt? The same as it is, whatever it is there in a Lakshmikant, I will teach that only. So that it will be very easy to study the M. Lakshmikant book. Okay. The daily duty is to just study here, just learn here, go through all that chapters in your home. then you will be understanding the M. Lakshmikant. Understood? M. Lakshmikant is the author that you should study for the polity perspective. Next comes after 1938. In 1940, there are some of the proposals given from the Britishers for the Indians. See, that was the time where Second World War was taking place. When was Second World War started? 1939. Okay. The Second World War was started in which year? 1939 to 1944 or 45. Okay, till this much there was a war. Understood? The British, USA, USSR, China was one party and Japan was opposite for them. Understood? Okay. And see here, already the Second World War was started in which year? 1939. See here, it's 1940. Already war has been started. Okay. And already 1 year have been happened. But during that time, there was a viceroy called as Lord Linlithgow. Lord Linlithgow. He is a British viceroy. He came to India. He told that we need the help of Indians now. We wanted Indian soldiers to fight against this Japan. The Britishers wanted the support, the human power, the manpower of Indians. Understood? Because the population is huge in India compared to the Britishers during that time also. They need the support, human resources. That is why the viceroy came to India. He told that we will give you dominion status, half independence, but that too after the completion of Second World War. Once we complete the Second World War, we will give you half independence, not full independence. That is what Lord Linlithgow offered the Indians. Okay. We, all the Indian citizens, okay, those human resources was being, that kind of human resources they wanted to utilize in the Second World War. Because their troops, their soldiers were in less number. They wanted the support of Indian soldiers, Indian troops. Understood? That is what they were offered. What they have offered, one is dominion status. Dominion status. Dominion status means half independence. Dominion status, half independence will be given after Second World War. Lord Linlithgow offered, we will give you dominion status, half status after the Second World War. Write down there itself. Put this one. Anyway, we'll send the PPT, but some all these explanation you should write. Okay. Yaru? Lord Linlithgow during 1940.
He was for India or he is for US?
British. He was a British viceroy. He came to India to offer us.
Then who is going to India?
I think the other person maybe. Okay. ಅವಾಗ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಅಂತ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. Okay. Sorry, the viceroy also. Okay. Just check who was that. In 1940, who was the viceroy? Have you written this one? 1940 August offer. Okay. Why they have given the name August? Yeah, it was the proposal. The offer was been given in the month of August. That is what the August offer is. Understood? In 1940, In the month of August, he has come for the India and he has just given the proposal to offer for us. First one, he told that we will give dominion status, but that too after the Second World War. The next one is he again offered another offer, that is increasing the seats in the Viceroy Executive Council. There was one council, that name is Viceroy Executive Council. Okay. There he told that increasing the seats in the Viceroy Executive Council for the Indians. Just concentrate here, you can write afterwards. Previously, don't write, just stop. Previously, when they established this council, okay, in 1900, okay, that time, not 1900, in 1800 itself, during that time only, the Viceroy Executive Council was been established in India. There were no Indians in this council. They used to create a laws for Indians, but no Indians were there in this council. Eventually, Indians was being started to add in that council. Okay, and then this Linlithgow told that we will increase the number of seats here. It was like just 70 is to 30 ratio. Firstly, there were no Indians. After certain years, they started to add the Indians in that council also. Only 3 or 4 Indians were there in that council. Understood? Out of 60. Okay. Then they started to increase the seats for the Indians. He told that he will increase the seats in the Viceroy Executive Council. They will take the decision in the Executive Council there. Understood? Okay. And also he told that he will establish the Advisory War Council. What he told? He will establish what? Advisory War Council. Who needs war here? Do Indians need war or Britishers? See, Britishers need a war, but they wanted to establish Advisory War Council for Indians. We are peace-loving country. And they are telling that we will establish one Advisory War Council for Indians. That we don't wanted a war at all. Understood? That kind of offers he has just given for us. Just write down all these 3. ವಾರ್ ಬೇಡ ಅಂದವ್ರಿಗೆ ವಾರ್ಗೆ ತಳ್ಳೋದು ಈ ತರ. Have you understood this? Okay. Now, during that time, there were 2 political parties, strong political parties. One is Indian National Congress, another one is Muslim League. Let me tell you the intention of both the parties. Indian National Congress was there. The objective of Indian National Congress is to have complete independence for India. We want complete independence. And you should not interfere while framing the constitution and also in Constituent Assembly. That was what Indian National Congress wanted. What is the objective of Muslim League? They wanted separate nation called as Pakistan. Understood? Here the INC wanted complete independence, but Muslim League wanted to separate the India into 2 parts. One is Pakistan, one is India. Understood? Britishers, they were not ready to give the freedom for us. Mooro anandikku. Mooro thoughts will change. Understood? Muslim League, what they wanted? Separate nation called as Pakistan. That was the motto for them. Okay? When was Muslim League was being established? Partition of Bengal. Have you heard that? Lord Curzon was the one. Yes, 1905. Okay. Lord Curzon, ಅವರೇ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಚ್ಚಿದ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ. There was no kind of communal riots or communal war between the Hindus and Muslims. It is Lord Curzon who has just given a negative kind of thoughts for the Muslims and also for the Hindus that during that time. Muslims felt that the Hindus are just degrading them. They are not giving any kind of representation. Understood? ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲೋ ಮೂಲೆಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸ್ತು ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮ್ಸ್ಗೆ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ದೇ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ as Muslim League. In order to survive themselves, that is why they wanted a representation. That is why they wanted a different nation. Understood? Okay. This August offer was been failed. Why it was been failed? Why it was been failed? Indian National Congress wanted complete independence. They don't wanted dominion status, half independence. But Muslim League wanted what? Separate nation, which the Britishers never given. Understood? Okay. That is why this this August offer was been failed. Understood? Write down there itself. INC objective. INC objective. Today you'll be remembering. After 2 months, you don't even know what is August offer. Understood? Just write down. INC objective. The first one. Complete independence. Complete independence. History faculty will teach you till 1947. Don't worry. But in another surface level, I will just teach you what is August offer, what is Cripps mission, cabinet mission. Understood? Okay. INC objective was complete independence and no dividing the nation. No dividing the nation. And no dividing the nation. Muslim League. Muslim League objective. Muslim League objective. ML. Okay. Muslim League objective. They wanted separate nation. They wanted separate nation called Pakistan. And separate constitution. And separate constitution. Understood? Finally, August offer have been filled. Finally, August offer have been failed. Understood? You should remember these 3 points and INC objective, Muslim League objective. That's it. Finish. Okay. Have you written this 3 points? Written? Okay. Let us take a break and we can continue the next part. Okay. Are you understanding classes? Getting bored? Okay. we discussed regarding the August offer. Okay. Next, let us discuss regarding the Cripps proposal. Cripps. What is meant by Cripps? Cripps is the name of the person, Stanford Cripps. Okay. He was also the viceroy, the Stanford Cripps. Again, when this Lord Linlithgow failed to give the offers, then who has come? In 1942, who has came? Stanford Cripps. Again, he came with a proposal. Understood? First time fail ಆದ್ರು ಮತ್ತೆ next time ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಬಂದ್ರು in order to give the offer again for the Indians. Okay. During that time also, Second World War was taking place or not? Second World War was taking place during that time also. Okay. Let us study what is Cripps' proposal. This proposal was made proposed by the Stanford Cripps. Okay. Let us see now. What he has proposed? What he has proposed? ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ರಾಗ ಅದೇ ಹಾಡು, the same dialogue. Again, I will give the dominion status after the Second World War. Okay. The negotiation, have you seen the negotiation, how they do the negotiations? They will send one person. If the person fails to convince that meeting, then the next person will come. Again, he will give the negotiations the same way. Okay. In the next time, the Stanford Cripps came to India, he told again the same way that again we will give the dominion status after the Second World War. But kindly join our group and let's war against the Japanese. Because during that time, Japan was invading the India. Why? Because British were ruling us. We are under the hands of British colony. That is why Japan was invading the India during that time. Okay. And that is why Britishers were told that we wanted the help of Indian soldiers, Indian troops. With the help of them, we can win the war. That was the idea of the Britishers during that time. Okay. And next, again, he said that those who are not wanted to join the India after independence, they can have their own separate nation. Understood? Okay. There were different types of princely states. Rajya Manatanagalivu before independence. Were there or not? There were a lot of princely states. But this Stanford Cripps told that if any of the princely states don't wanted to join India, let them be separate. Let them have their own constitution. Okay, that kind of idea was given as a proposal by the Stanford Cripps. Understood? The first point is this one. Write down this first point again. For Stanford Cripps, again write down this proposal. Cripps proposal. First one, again the dominion status after the Second World War. Dominion status after the Second World War. Next point, any province not willing to join the union could have separate constitution. Full stop. Province. What is meant by province here? Territory or a state. Okay, the meaning of province means any territory, one pradesha or a state. Okay. The third one, he said that the constituent assembly will be formed after Second World War. He told that we will just establish one constituent assembly, but that too after Second World War. And another proposal he have kept in front of Indians is that defense sector will be under the hands of Britishers, not the Indians. Are you understanding? Whatever the defense we are having now, the same way that all the defense will be handled only with Britishers. Defense means all the weapons, missiles, and also the troops, our Indian soldiers. They wanted to have the control on our Indian defense system. ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಳೋದು, ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಮಗೆ ತಿರುಗಿ ಬಿಡೋದು. Because our population was huge compared to the Britishers. The resource, the human resource in India was huge. That is why they wanted to utilize our Indian resources, Indian human resources as well. Understood? And they used to wear a war against these kinds of other nations like Japan. There were two types of party. One is Axis and Allies party. Have you just studied in the history? Axis ಮತ್ತೆ Allies ಅಂತ ಎರಡಿದ್ವು ಗುಂಪುಗಳು. There were two groups in the Second World War. First World War, Second World War ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Okay? That Allies ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ USA, the British, USSR, China. Next, the Japan, Germany, all those French, okay, all those groups were the under part. Okay. And we were not supporting any of the countries there in the Second World War. That's why we have just written, or we have signed one treaty called as Non-Aligned Movement, NAM. Okay, non-alignment movement. That is what we have signed, that we don't wanted to participate in any world war. We wanted to be neutral. We wanted to be independent. Understood? Next, write down that. Write down. Defense will be under the hands of British. Full stop. Okay. But what was the objective of INC and Muslim? Already you have written objective of Indian National Congress. What was that? What INC, Indian National Congress party, what they wanted? Complete independence. But what he has proposed? Dominion status, half independence. INC wanted a complete independence, full independence. But they were ready to give only half independence, not a complete independence, which the INC, the Indian National Congress political party, never wanted to agree for that. Full complete independence kotre matra we will participate in Second World War, otherwise no antane helidru Indian National Congress. Understood? Okay. And also the INC pressurized that we wanted a defense sector with ourselves. Why we should hand over our defense sector for you anta kelidru. Understood? Right now we are having the defense sector. If we give that controlling power for the Britishers, what will it happen? It will be huge disaster. They will rule us again. That's why we wanted to keep our Indian defense system with ourselves only. Understood? Okay. And Muslim League wanted a separate nation, Pakistan. Their objective was only to have a separate nation called as Pakistan. Understood? This was also been failed because INC didn't liked this proposal. Muslim League also didn't like this proposal because in that proposal there was no separate nation called as Pakistan. Understood? Next one. Finally, the cabinet mission have been arrived in 1946 after 4 years. After 4 years, cabinet mission was been formed. Okay, just see how. Here, only Stanford Cripps, Stanford Cripps the proposal here. But ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ದ, ನನ್ಗೊಬ್ಬನಿಗೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಿಬ್ಬರನ್ನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದ. Understood? He has again this Stanford Cripps again along with the other two persons. He again came to India with the help of again another proposal. That is cabinet proposal or mission. SAP, SAP, computer science, not that SAP. Okay. S stands for Sir Stanford Cripps, A for A.V. Alexander, P for Pethick Lawrence. These three people came to India. These three Britishers came to India and again they have given the proposal. That was a new proposal. In that proposal, they told that let India divide into three groups. Let Akhanda Bharat divide into three groups. Two groups for Muslim majority, one for Hindu majority. Which INC didn't allow that. We wanted union India. The whole India as a one. Why are you coming and separating us? That is what the question of the INC. Understood? Britishers wanted to separate India. It wanted to give some of the provinces for the Muslim community. Some of the territory for Muslim community. Some of the territory for only Hindu community. Which INC, Indian National Congress, never allowed that. We wanted whole India as a one, not as a separate nations here. Understood? Okay. Just write down that. Stanford Cripps. The proposal was grouping the provincial assembly, grouping the provincial assembly. Let me show you in a map how they wanted to separate. Okay. Can you see this image? See here. They are divided into three groups. Okay, section A, section B, section C. Section A is for this red color. This is for Hindu majority provinces. Section B is for Muslim majority. Green is for Muslim majority provinces. ಇದು ನೋಡಿ yellow color ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, which is colorless, that one. Princely states not specifically provided for in the proposal. ರಾಜಮನೆತನ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ. Okay, see here. Which is this dynasty? Mysore, Madras. Here Madras. Okay, here Hyderabad, Nizam. Okay, Bombay. Okay, Nizam, Bombay provinces. Some of the provinces they wanted to be neutral, and some of the provinces ರಾಜಮನೆತನಗಳು they were accepted to join India, but these Muslim majority provinces they wanted to join the other one. Understood? Based on the population, they divided this kind of parts. They wanted to make India into different parts. Totally our India was this much, Akhanda Bharat. But what they proposed? They proposed three groups. One for Hindus, two for Muslims. The third grouping stands for West Bengal and Assam. West Bengal, Assam, okay. It is section 3, that is a Muslim majority. Here, Punjab, Sindh, okay, the other states were dominated with the Muslim majority country. Sorry, Muslim majority population. That's why they wanted section B for them. Understood? They wanted to rule like this. They wanted to make the Indian map like this actually. Understood? It would have been only this much. Our Indian part would have been only this much. With no northeast for us. And also Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana and this one. Have you understood the concept? How they wanted to group these Britishers for us? Okay, just write down. Section A, Hindu majority provinces. Section A, Hindu majority provinces. Which are provinces, which are the states, that is not important for your exam. But in order to glance this, what kind of grouping they wanted to do, I've just shown the map. Okay. Section A, Hindu majority areas. Okay. Section B and C. Section B and C, Muslim majority provinces. Muslim majority provinces. Muslim majority provinces. That's it. And again, this kind of grouping, again INC didn't like that, because INC wanted what? Only Union of India, not in a separate nation. Okay. And also Muslim League, what it thought? Separate Pakistan. That's fine. Understood? The cabinet mission was somewhat failed, but finally they agreed to form the Constituent Assembly after Second World War. Then after Second World War, cabinet mission have framed this Constituent Assembly in 1946. When we ended that Second World War? 45. Okay. Next year, they have established the Constituent Assembly in order to frame the Constitution, in order to create the Constitution. Constitution create ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲಿ? Not in Parliament. It is Constituent Assembly. Understood? Whatever the images I have shown you, okay, that is what the Constituent Assembly was. Okay. Understood? Is there any doubt? One is August offer, one is Scripps proposal, next is cabinet mission. Who has came for India in the cabinet mission? Stafford, Cripps, A.V. Alexander, Pethick Lawrence. Pethick Lawrence. This is what the Constituent Assembly is. There they form the Constitution. Samvidhana ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ, not somewhere else. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me explain you all that in detail. Okay. Firstly, let us see what is Constituent Assembly, when it was been formed. Constituent Assembly. Okay. This Constituent Assembly was been formed in which year? November 1946. November 1946, we have formed the Constituent Assembly. Concentrate here. The total strength of the Constituent Assembly was 389. What was the strength? How many members were there? How many seats were there? 389. Okay. How we are having in a Lok Sabha? How many maximum strength of Lok Sabha is? ಪಟಾಪಟ್ ನೋಡ್ದೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. 550. 550. Maximum strength is 550. Present strength 543. Okay, the same way Constituent Assembly list ittu maximum strength 389 only. Understood? In that the maximum strength was 389. Okay. Maximum strength of Constituent Assembly. CA Chartered Accountant alla, illi nam Constituent Assembly bartade. Okay. And out of 389, it was again grouped. Okay. 93, concentrate here, don't write. 93 seats were allocated for the princely states. ಯಾರು? ರಾಜ್ಯ ಮನೆತನಗಳು. 93 states were allocated for princely states. Rest of them, how much? 296 seats were allocated for British India provinces. Territory anta heli, provinces, wherever the word provinces you see, it is meant that territory or a place. Okay. See here, concentrate. Concentrate here. This was India. There were places, there were territories, still the princely states were there. ರಾಜಮನೆತನಗಳಿದ್ವು. There were places where British have already occupied some of our territories. Understood? Two types were there. ಒಂದು ರಾಜಮನೆತನಗಳು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು British occupied territories. Understood? These princely states, how many princely states seats we are having? 93. How many British Indian provinces seats we are having? 296. Okay. ಇದು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಹೆಂಗೆ? ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರೀರಿ. You should remember this. 389. Okay. The last digit right here first digit right here last. Minus this one. 389 minus 93, you will get this one. Understood? Okay. Again, out of 296 seats, again it was been divided. It was been divided again into 292 plus 4. 292 seats were again allocated for the 11 governor provinces. And 4 seats were allocated for the 4 or each commissioner provinces. Chief Commissioner. Okay, write down chief. Concentrate here. You can write afterwards. Totally, what is the maximum strength? 389. In that, how much of the allocated seats for princely states? 93. And here, for British Indian territories, it was 296. Out of 296 for British provinces, again it was been divided. These were British governors. These were British chief commissioners. Understood? Some of the places, there are 11 governor provinces and there were 4 commissioner provinces. Okay, that the seat was been allocated. For 11 governor provinces, how many seats were allocated? 289. Sorry, 292. Rest 4 of them for each chief commissioner provinces. Okay, concentrate here. Again, see here. Which are the 4? Let us see that. A, B, C, D. A for Ajmer, Merwara. B for British Baluchistan. Have you heard this name, Baluchistan? One of the state in Pakistan. They all already declared that themselves they are separate or free independent nation. Have you know that? During Operation Sindoor itself, they declared themselves that either we wanted to join India or else we wanted to be a separate nation. Actually, they love India. But these Pakistan, especially the Lahore and other capitals, they don't wanted to. They are like enemies for the Indians. Okay, they were Indians, but they are again. See, Pakistan people, they wanted to ally with India, but Pakistan government don't wanted to ally with India. Understood? British Balochistan. C for your Coorg. Coorg. Yes. D for Delhi. In these places, one chief commissioner used to rule. Understood? There were 4 chief commissioner provinces. A, B, C, D. A for Ajmer, Merwara. B for British Balochistan. Balochistan was under the hands of British only. And next one, C for Coorg, D for Delhi. Write down this much. Finish? See ya. For these 93 seats, these representatives were nominated. No elections for them. They are nominated directly by the head of the princely state. Who will be the head of the princely state? Prince or princess. The Raja. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ he will be nominating you. ಹೋಗಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸೀಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡು. ಓಕೆ, the representatives means ಜನಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿ. That representative will be nominated by the head of the princely state. No election for these seats. But for this, there was an election. For princely states, no election, but for British Indian provinces, there was an election. And one seat was allocated for every 1 million population. 1 million means 10 lakh. If there are 10 lakh citizens, for 10 lakh citizens, one will be a representative, Janapratinidhi. Understood? The elections, one seat for one seat means he will be allocated for 1 million population. The seat will be allocated, one seat will be allocated based on a 1 million population. Understood? 1 million means 10 lakh. And this election was being in which type? Do you know the types of election? One is first past the post system, another one is single transferable vote. Okay, let me explain that. This election was through the single transferable vote. Single transferable vote. Write down there. Election was with the help of single transferable vote. Let me explain that detailedly tomorrow. Okay. This kind of single transferable vote we are utilizing it for election of president, election of Rajya Sabha. Okay. Finish? Is there any doubt? Another doubt is there? No doubts. Next. See, out of 296 seats, okay, out of 296 seats, out of 296 seats, okay, INC, Indian National Congress, Muslim League have won how many of the seats? Out of 296, how many of the seats have been won by the INC? ಎಷ್ಟಿರ್ಬೋದು expected? 200 plus. Okay, 208 seats. 208 seats have been won by Indian National Congress. It was huge, biggest party during that time. Next, Muslim League, 73 seats. Muslim League, 73 seats. Rest of the seats for the independent parties. And small parties were there. Those 15 seats won by the independent parties. If you count, it will be 296. Now you got to know what was the role of INC during freedom. How much huge it was. Okay, what was the objective? That all you will be studying in the history as well, modern history. Finish? Okay, these representatives were elected by the adult franchise, limited adult franchise. What is meant by adult franchise? ಫ್ರಾಂಚೈಸಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಆ ಫ್ರಾಂಚೈಸಿ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೈ ಅಡಲ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಾಂಚೈಸ್? See, adult franchise means the citizen of India who were above the age of 21, they had a right to vote. Adult franchise andre. Okay, limited antandre it is only limited for the rich people or else taxpayers. Those Indians who used to pay the taxes for the Britishers, they had a right to vote for these people. 296, understood? And those who are educated, literate, they had a right to vote. Those who had a property, they had a right to vote. Not the poor people, not the uneducated people, not the literate people, I mean illiterate people. Understood? Now we are having the right to vote. Those who are above the age of 18, they are having the right to vote in India. But during that time, who used to vote? Those who used to pay tax for Britishers, those who are educated Indians, who are having the property. Only these people used to vote for this Constituent Assembly representatives. Understood? It is of limited adult franchise. Adult franchise means universal. Whether you are rich or poor, it doesn't matter. Only the age matters. And if you are Indian, you are having the right to vote. But limited means it is limiting for only these people. Write down that. Representatives are elected. Representatives are elected with the help of limited adult franchise. Limited adult franchise. Finish? Next. These representatives are of different communities also. Not only the upper caste people. It comprises of every sections of people, they were represented there. Hindus, Muslims, Christian, Parsis, Sikhs, including women, SC, ST, all the kinds of sections were the representatives during that day also, those days. Understood? Okay, just write down. The representatives are of Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Parsis, Parsis, Anglo-Indians, Indian Christians, SC and ST, SC and ST, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, okay, including women, full stop. Including women. Our representatives are of which section? Hindus, Muslim, Indian Christians, SC, ST, Anglo-Indians. Anglo-Indians, what is meant by Anglo-Indians?
Person was represented for the people.
Yesterday only I told Anglo-Indian. Half foreigner, half Indian. His father might be an Indian or his mother might be an Indian. Either of the parent might be an Indian, one parent might be a foreign. Understood? Anglo, British. Understood? Anglo ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? British ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. British Indian ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. Including women. How many women were there in a Constituent Assembly? 6. There were 15. 1-5. 1-5. Write down that. Very important. Frequently asked question in your state service exams. There were 15 women members. There were 15 women members in the Constituent Assembly. In the Constituent Assembly. Who were there? ಯಾರ್ಯಾರಿದ್ರು? ನೆನಪಿದೆನಾ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ? Let us see that. Rajkumari Amrut Kaur idru and Sarojini Naidu. Okay, Vijay Lakshmi Pandit. Those women were there in a Constituent Assembly. They will give you in a MCQ. How many women members were there in a Constituent Assembly? 14, 15, 16, 18. You will just put 18 and come because highest number might be there. Okay, that is 15 only. And don't mention Indira Gandhi. She was not there in the Constituent Assembly. Okay. See. Amur Swaminathan, okay, social worker and political activist, served in the Constituent Assembly from 1946 to 1948. Okay. Hansa, Jivraj Mehta and Dakshayani Velayudan, and first and only Dalit woman in the Constituent Assembly. Okay. Next. Leela Roy, feminist, freedom fighter and social worker. Mala Uridru, and let us wait. Next, Begum was there. Begum, only Muslim woman to be a member of Constituent Assembly. Freedom fighters also. Okay. And Sarojini Naidu, Nightingale of India. Yaro? Sarojini Naidu. Vijay Lakshmi Pandit, first woman cabinet minister. Cabinet. Morning I told you what is cabinet. Okay. Freedom fighter and politician and Indian diplomat. She represented in United Nations General Assembly. United Nations General Assembly there she represented India. Sucheta Kripalani, Purnima and Rajkumari Amrut Kaur. She is the founder of this AIMS hospital in Delhi. Do you know that? AIMS hospital in Delhi. Okay. Okay, these were the women members. Understood? Not important for your exam. It might be important for your interview. At least you should know 4 to 5 women members' names. Okay. See, during that time also in the patriarchal society, at least 15 women representatives were there in India to represent in Constituent Assembly. Understood? ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೇಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ನಾವು ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ MP ಆಗ್ತೀವಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಡ್ತಾರ? ಹುಚ್ಚಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂತಾರೆ. But during that time, in 1946 only, these women represented in Constituent Assembly while framing the Constitution. Understood how much great they are in that patriarchal society, dominating men ಇರುವಂತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಆವಾಗಿನ ಟೈಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ. Understood? Okay. Finish? And also, was Mahatma Gandhi ji the member of this Constituent Assembly or not? Mahatma Gandhi ji. Have you heard the name or not? Is Mahatma Gandhi ji the member of the Constituent Assembly? No, he was not a member of Constituent Assembly. He was not. He don't wanted to be a member of Constituent Assembly because he don't wanted to divide India during that time. Okay, it was the Muslim League who pressurized that we wanted a separate nation. Okay, there is lot of myth that Mahatma Gandhi ji divided India. No, it is not. And also Jawaharlal Nehru also don't wanted to divide the India. It was Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founder of Muslim League, who wanted to separate the nation called as Pakistan. Understood? His intention was to become the first Prime Minister of India. Oh, sorry, the Muhammad Ali Jinnah. But he know that INC, Indian National Congress, was very dominating and he will not win the seats over there. That is why he made a separate Muslim League, the party. Okay, at least I can be the first Prime Minister of Pakistan. That is what the motto of the Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Understood? Okay, nodi yav tara irtade greediness. See, the representation for the Muslims would have been given in India as well. We have given the representation for the reserved caste, the reservations for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and also for minorities over there. But they wanted, see, some of these politicians, they wanted to frame themselves that they are like they wanted to be in the history. That is why they have made that kind of nation. They felt that the Muslims can't represent themselves in India because it's a Hindu dominated country. Okay, that was just a motto behind the Muslim League. Okay, understood? Okay, write down there itself in a note. Mahatma Gandhi ji was not a member of Constituent Assembly. If you study the modern history properly, then you will understand who wanted a separate nation, who has made the separate nation. Okay, it is not the INC, it is the Muslim League party. And I am not in favor of any political party here. Okay. See, this is the group photo of the Constituent Assembly. Already I have told you. Okay. Next, let us study the working of the Constituent Assembly. Okay, working of Constituent Assembly. See, the first meeting took place on 9th December 1946. 9th December 1946. And who was the temporary president of Constituent Assembly? Dr. Sachidananda Sinha. Just concentrate here. SSC, RRB, IB, okay, itara PSI exams, frequently asked questions from this one. Okay. Dr. Sachidananda Sinha, he was the interim means temporary president of the Constituent Assembly. And there was a next meeting also. That next meeting took place after first meeting, after 2 days. It was on 11th December 1946. There the real president, the permanent president was been elected. His name is Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Who is the first president of India? Again, Rajendra Prasad. He was the first permanent president of Constituent Assembly also, and for India also, after independence, after Constitution was been framed. And there were two vice presidents. One is H.C. Mukherjee and V.T. Krishnamachari. Two vice president and one president of Constituent Assembly. Most frequently asked question, Dr. Sachidananda Sinha was the interim president of Constituent Assembly, a temporary president. Understood? Is there any doubt? First meeting 9 December, second meeting 11th December. First meeting temporary president, second meeting permanent president. Finish? Next. Ninth ಆಯ್ತು 11th ಆಯ್ತು 13th ಬರೋಣ 9 11 13 okay. On 13th December 1946, Jawaharlal Nehru moved the historic objective resolution in Constituent Assembly. We wanted some of the resolutions that should be added in our constitution book. Okay, there should be some of the basics that should be added in the constitution book. That all the objectives was been given by whom? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He addressed in the Constituent Assembly that what all the words should be added in the Constituent Assembly. What are the sources that we should have? Okay, let us see that also. And all these words that turn to be a preamble in future in a modified form. Understood? This is the original version, and based on this only preamble was being enacted. The identity card of the constitution, what we call it as. Okay, let us see that. Firstly, the objective was our India should be what? Independent, sovereign, means independent nation. Nobody should be controlling the India. Sovereign means independent India, independent nation. Nobody can control us, not even the Britishers in future. That is what sovereignty means. Next one, republic. What is meant by republic? Republic or republic? What is meant by that? What is meant by that? Why we celebrate Republic Day? Freedom. What is the difference between Independence Day and Republic Day? That is also true. But what is the objectivity to celebrate Independence Day and Republic Day?
Republic Day was first published in 1929.
1929. See, independence when we got the independence? August 15th, 1947. Howda? Already Constituent Assembly was been formed. When was Constituent Assembly have been formed? Don't write. 1946 November. Okay. In Constituent Assembly itself, we have got the freedom, independence. with the signing the agreement, okay, between India and Pakistan. The constitution came into the force. Constitution came into the force on January 26, 1950. Understood? When was Constituent Assembly formed? 1946 November. November 1946 till this one. They just written the constitution. Nearly for 3 years. Understood? This constitution, that laws came into the force on this day. Understood? Freedom. We got the independence during that time. But in order to govern the Indians, we needed a constitution. That constitution came into the force on this day. Yes, specifically why 26th is because Swaraj. Swaraj Day. In Lahore session in 1929, there was a Lahore session. Massive thousands of people were grouped together. And INC leader during that time, Jawaharlal Nehru, was addressing in that Lahore session that we wanted a Swaraj. Till 1929, INC thought that at least we will get dominion status. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಸಾಕು ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ 1929 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, these Britishers are not helping us, they are not supporting us, and they are rude for the Indians. That is why we wanted a full Azad, complete Azad, Swaraj. Okay, that is what he has addressed in a Lahore session. Ghoshne maduru that I want Swaraj. That too on this day, January 26, 1929. Okay, and also we will celebrate Swaraj Day on every year, that is on January 26th. Based on this only, they chosen this January 26th as a Republic Day. Understood? Whatever in a Lahore session in 1929, he has given the session. In that session, he has just addressed, we wanted a Swaraj. Based on that, complete independence. Swaraj and Reno, complete independence. Based on that, they have chosen this one in future as a Republic Day. Now, have you got the difference between Independence Day and Republic Day? Independence Day means freedom for Indians. Republic Day means the constitution came into the force. What is there in a constitution? The laws are there. They are the rights for the Indians. Understood? That is what the difference between both of them. Is there any doubt? No doubt. Next one. Next one, what is it? What is meant by that? Second one. See, whatever this is the Indian map, okay? Whatever the British India is there, the territory, the places that has been occupied by Britishers, and if the other places other territories also wanted to join India, we are ready to join them. Understood? The other nation, see, Nepal, think that Nepal in future they wanted to join hands with India. If the parliament agrees for that, then we can make the Nepal also to join our India, and we can just declare it as a Nepal state. Understood? If anybody wishes to join the India, we are agreeing for that. That is what they have written here. Understood? Is there any doubt? Territories now comprise British India. Outside India means other nations. If the other nations wanted to join India, let them join. Understood? And the other territories are willing to be constituted to join India. Union of them all. Union and group together them all. Is there any doubt? No doubt. Next. The third point, this is also written in your preamble. Guaranteeing. What is guaranteeing? See, guaranteeing to the people that we will provide them the justice. The justice will be in the form of three types: social, economic, political. ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ, ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ. Justice are of three types. One is socially, economic and political. Socially means how socially justice can be given. Yeah, rule of law, and also not discriminating socially based on a caste. Everybody are equal. Economically, everybody should be equal. But since in practicality, it will not go as far as Constitution what it says. Economically here means uplifting the economically weaker section. Okay. See, during that time and till now also there is a economic discrimination in system or not, in the public or not. Is it there? There are many people who are billionaires. There are many people who are just earning only few thousands of rupees per month. There are many people who don't even earn. There is a lot of discrimination, inequality economically. And in order to uplift them, we have given certain reservations, certain schemes also for them. That is what economically they will tell you. In order to become equal, firstly we should uplift these poor people. ಮೇಲೆ ಕೆತ್ತಬೇಕು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು. That is what economically they will tell. Next, politically. Any citizen of India, they are having the rights to contest the elections, to vote. Understood? Next, equality of status of opportunity. For everybody, we should give the opportunity. And also freedom of thought, expression, belief, faith, worship. Freedom of thoughts. We are having the thoughts that can be expressed in other forms. Through the wordings, and through the writing, through the painting, through the printing. Okay, and also belief, faith. We can just believe any god. We can have faith on any god. We can worship any god. If I am Hindu, I can worship the other gods as well. I can worship the Jesus, or else I can worship the Allah as well. I'm having that kind of freedom according to the Constitution. Understood? Is there any doubt? Next. Don't write all this. I will send you the PPT itself. Next one. And also, this objective resolution tells about safeguarding the people. Safeguarding the people. Whom? Minorities. Who are minorities in India? Have you heard the word minority? Minority. Who are the minorities? Who are the minorities? Except Hindus, everybody are minorities in India. Except Hindu religion, everybody are minorities in India. Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Sikhs, Parsis. Understood? Except Hindus, everybody are minorities. We should safeguard them. Next, tribal areas. We should safeguard the tribal people, the tribal areas. Next, depressed means depressed and other backward classes. Hinduilda vargagalu. Also depressed means scheduled caste and also scheduled tribe. Next, whereby shall be maintaining the integrity of the territory of the republic and sovereign rights of land, sea and air. Important. See, our Indian land, our Indian sea, we are having Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean. That one, and also the airspace. That all belongs to us. We are having control on these three means. Understood? The Indian territory, whatever the land boundary we are having the on our land. We are having the right on our sea and also on the air. Whatever the boundary we are having. Okay, that airspace. according to the justice and law of civilized nation. Next one, very important. What is that? Promoting world peace and the welfare of mankind. We are a peace-loving country. That is what they have given here. And see here, this objective resolution was being unanimously adopted in a Constituent Assembly on this day. That is January 2022, 1947. When this was objective resolution was been announced, December 13th. But when it has been adopted, January 22, 1947. Understood? Within 1 month, they have adopted this resolution. Unanimously means, what is unanimously? All together. No objection was there in a Constituent Assembly. And everybody agreed for this objective resolution in order to implement that. And this objective resolution, it is now a modified version of preamble at the present constitution. In the present constitution, we are having one preamble. That preamble is based on this objective resolution only. Understood? All these points, you will be studying in that preamble chapter. Is there any doubts? Okay. Let us see the functions of Constituent Assembly. When was the national flag have been adopted? July 22, 1947. Okay. National anthem, January 24, 1950. 2 days prior for the Republic Day. National song, January 24, 1950. National anthem yaudu? Which is our national anthem? Just one word is also enough. National song? Vande Mataram. Okay. See, very important. Just concentrate here. January 24. This also January 24. This also January 24. Okay. Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the first president of India on this day, 2 days before the Republic Day. First president of India. He was the first president of Constituent Assembly, and he again was elected as a president for the whole nation itself. And concentrate here. What is the duration that have been took for framing the constitution? A constitution book ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರು? 2 years, 11 months, 18 days. 2 years, 11 months, 18 days in order to frame the constitution. Two years, 11 months, 18 days. Frequently asked question in your APSC level exams. 2 years, 11 months, 18 days. Nearly 3 years. Finish. Concentrate here. The constitutional makers, 389 seats were there. Okay. Not every maximum strength is 389. Some of the seats were unfilled also, because some of the princely states didn't agree, and also during that time again there was an agreement between India and Pakistan. Okay. Lord Mountbatten plan. Based on Lord Mountbatten plan, India was been partitioned. India and Pakistan was been happened in 1946. Okay, 1946, 1947. During 1947 itself, okay. There was, based on a Mountbatten plan only, our India got partitioned. And Whatever the Muslim leagues, the seats were there. Estidu 73. Again, that also got unfilled. Okay, Muslim leagues, they stepped back, and also princely states, some of the princely states, they stepped back, and only 299 seats were filled out of 389. Out of 389, only 299 seats were filled. Okay. And in order to frame one Indian constitution, our constitutional makers went for 60 countries. ಅವಾಗಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ. During that time, our constitutional makers went for 60 countries and they learned their constitution, respective constitution of that nation. They came with that constitution and they have borrowed the sources of the constitution. USA ಇಂದ ಏನ್ ಬಾರೋ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, USSR ಇಂದ, Germany ಇಂದ. Firstly, today itself in the morning we have studied that. Okay, that is based on the constitutional makers went for 60 nations and they just interacted with the judiciary system over there, the parliamentarians over there, and whatever suits for us, suits for Indians, they adopted that source. Understood? Next one, what was the total expenditure incurred during that time? 64 lakhs was the expenditure happened in order to frame our constitution. Understood? Is there any doubt? And our Indian constitution is the world's lengthiest constitution in the world. Idi world nalle lengthiest constitution, bulkier book yaudana? Indian constitution. Understood? And we'll wind up the class. We'll continue tomorrow. The major committee is there, minor committee is there, drafting committee is there. Let us study all that. Okay. And there are tricks also to remember all these committees. This and this one as well. I mean, this major committee. Let me just make you to understand this one and we'll tell you the tricks also to remember these. Understood? Another doubt? In today's class, is there any doubt? What we have studied today? Sources of constitution. Then, who has given the idea of framing the Constituent Assembly? M.N. Roy. Okay. And August offer was proposed in which year? August offer 1940. Okay. And who was the viceroy in August offer? Lord Linlithgow. Okay, Lord Linlithgow. And Cripps Mission, who was viceroy? Stanford. And in cabinet mission, how many members were there? Cabinet mission, 3 members. SAP, S for Stafford Cripps, A for A.V. Alexander, P for Patrick Lawrence. Okay, how many seats were there in the Constituent Assembly? 389. Okay, how many seats were allocated for princely states? 93. How many seats for British India? 296. 296. Okay, 296. And how many chief commissioner provinces are there? 4. Which are those? ABCD. Ajmer, Merwara, British Balochistan, Coorg, Delhi. Okay. And how many seats have been won from INC? 208. Muslim League? 73. Independent parties? 15. Okay. How many women were represented in Constituent Assembly? 15. Okay. Was Mahatma Gandhi ji was a member of Constituent Assembly? No. And when was first meeting in Constituent Assembly took place? 9th December. Who was the interim president? Dr. Sachidananda Sinha. Okay. And who was the permanent president of Constituent Assembly? Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Who were the vice presidents? S.C. Mukherjee and V.T. Krishnamachari. Okay. And then when was the objective the resolution was been announced? Objective resolution. Concentrate here. First meeting agiddu 9th December. Second meeting agiddu 11th December. Objective resolution ಬಂದಿದ್ದು 13th. Odd numbers. Okay, and objective resolution ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನೆಲ್ಲ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕಲ್ತ್ವಿ? Can you just remember, recall that? Independent, sovereignty, republic, and also those territories who wanted to join India, they can join the India. Then justice should be guaranteed. Justice will be in the form of 3-1: social, economic, political. Next, providing the opportunities, equal opportunities. Then having the freedom of thoughts, expression, belief, faith, worship. Then safeguarding whom? Minorities, tribal areas, depressed and backward classes. Next, next point, land, sea, air. Understood? Land, sea, air. Lastly, world peace. Understood? And this objective resolution was being unanimously adopted on which day? January 2022, 1947. And this objective resolution is the modified version of preamble. Okay. And was national flag was been adopted July 22nd, 1947. January 24 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನೆಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತು? January 24, 1950. What we have adopted? National anthem, national song, and who was the first president of India? Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Okay, he was elected on that day. And finally, how many days have been took to frame the constitution? 2 years, 11 months, 18 days. Okay, this is the end of today's class. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow.